Well, let's do this. This is my first video in a series which I call Raw and Unfiltered. And I'm shooting this video on Gangilonga Rock in Iringa in Tanzania. And as I have been told that this rock was used by the Wahehe, that's a tribe in Iringa, to prey on this rock in their fight against the Germans. And this is what I'm doing here on this rock today. Pray and talk to you. What do I want to talk to you about? Sometimes I want to tell the story, but then you don't, because you don't want to offend people, and you want to tell the story that everything goes fine, and sometimes it isn't. I always been very gentle when it comes to people having orphanages. I was that volunteer, and as a foundation we were supporting 2 orphanages for many years. And I never said, or at least I hope I never said, that orphanages are about business. I always stayed away from that. I always talked about it is a right of a child to grow up in a family, and that it was not about good or bad orphanages, but about that children's right. But I'm not so sure anymore. I'm not so sure if people really do this with the best intentions. I just don't. Because I've heard and seen now too many incidents that we talk to people, we inform them about the negative effects that institutionalization has on these children. And we tell them that there are better ways. And they say they understand. And then they don't change. Or they just keep moving, getting more and more funds. Are you then still doing this for these children that you want to serve, that you want to protect? I'm doubting, because there's one orphanage and it's still not registered, and they said, Monique, we believe you. We believe that children thrive better in families. That's why we didn't register our orphanage. But the number of children has gone up. They removed 2 children from a mother, put them in an orphanage 4 hours further, because the mother has epilepsy. This is something that you can treat. And then, while that treatment, or while looking after the mother, these children need their mother. And this is an orphanage for children from 0 to 3. So they're very young children who need their mother. They don't understand. And those same people from that same orphanage had an encounter with a girl who lived with them. And she was always very difficult. Well, the child wasn't difficult, but the child went through a very difficult time. And at one point they drugged her just to keep her calm, instead of working with the child. And then the child grew up, and then they found out that the child had other siblings who lived in another orphanage about an hour further. And they baptized this child, and they gave it a name which wasn't the child's. And when the child grew up, the child started to express herself. And she told them, you took my identity away. You should have known that I had siblings. Why did you never look for them? Why did I grow up here and they grew up there? Why did you take my name away? You took my identity away. And that same orphanage and those same people keep taking children, but by just saying, yeah, that's the best thing for the children, which I have my doubts. In the Netherlands, we talk to people who funded orphanages, or they themselves in the Netherlands are working on preventing the separation of children with families. And here in Tanzania or in other countries, they start building orphanages. When we explain to them that that's not what that country needs and wants, that is not in the law of that country, that so many other people in that country are fighting for that change, and you keep pushing it forward. This is something I saw today. This orphanage was opened in December last year, and 140 kids from a secondary school did a fundraiser in October last year. While this guy knows that that country is working on another strategy in their country, that they want to bring children into families. Why do we white people go to foreign countries and start building things and doing things when first it's not in the best interest of the child, second of all it's not what we do in our own countries, and third of all it's not what they want in those countries? And then maybe you think, yeah, well, why are those countries letting us white people do that? Yeah, I have the same question, and I only have one answer. It's money. This has nothing to do with the best interest of the children. Because we're robbing them from their identity, from their culture, from their family. I heard from another volunteer that she once worked in a home where they took care of disabled grown-ups because they had no place to go. Because that's the problem with children's homes. When you reach the age of 18, you're not a child anymore. And when you're not a child anymore, you cannot stay in that children's home. You cannot stay in that orphanage. You have to go. And ask yourself the question, where are they going? Because connection with the family, sometimes broken or gone completely, where do they go? And research shows that most of these kids have a high chance of ending up in criminal activities or in sex work or even to kill themselves. Because the sense of belonging is gone. Who am I? Where do I belong? Who takes care of me? Where do they go when they have troubles, when they have questions about life, about their situation? As you can see, it's very raw and unfiltered. But I don't get it anymore. I just don't get it. Why? I talked to so many people in this country. And they all say, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we need to change. And really, none of them did. And that's a sad, hard, cold truth. No one did. Please, people, help me to raise awareness that children belong in families. There's more than 6 years of research that shows the negative effects on institutions, on the growth and development on children. We cannot deny that. There are so many care leavers, people who grew up in orphanages or in institutional care, who tell us their story in Uganda and Kenya. Unfortunately, not much in Tanzania. We have to listen to their stories. We have to listen to this girl who says, you robbed me of my identity. You took my family away from me. I didn't grow up with my family. And it's not enough. They keep separating children from their families. And not all parents are bad. Some of them just don't know or have some problems at certain times. Let's support them. Let's strengthen families. And if the birth family is not a safe place for the child, let's find that child another family with extended family. If the father is bad, maybe he also abuses the mother, should we not take her away as well? And just say we do have to take that child, and that the mother and the father are bad. It doesn't mean that the uncle is bad, or the auntie, or the grandmother, or the grandfather. And that's culture here, extended family. Leaving orphanages, large institutional care, really as a no-go. And we raise so much awareness on this in the Netherlands, here in Tanzania. And it just doesn't change. So many volunteers come here going to orphanages. Well, you have seen my other post on orphanage tourism. How do we raise awareness? How do we make this stop? I just don't know anymore. So maybe on social media you're sometimes tired of my stories, tired of my posts on this. But believe me, there's such a long way to go. And sometimes I just don't know what to do anymore. If you have any idea, just let me know. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye.